Hello Leo, this is your new moon reading. I am using my own cards, my medieval oracle card deck. These energies might play out within the next 1 to 3 months, and we are starting your reading with the Goblin card. Then comes the River, then the Rainbow, the Lute, the Scales, and the Maiden. And I don't know, when I saw the first 3 cards together, the Goblin, the River, and the Rainbow, it made me think of death. Then I took a look at the bottom of the deck and ta-da, there was the death card. So my intuition was right. This Goblin and River and Rainbow. You know, the river can stand for traveling in my deck. It can stand for several things, but when I pulled it, I immediately felt it means traveling. It is representing some kind of far distance or seemingly far distance. And I'm saying seemingly far distance because we have the rainbow card next to it. The rainbow card in my deck, I created it as some kind of, it's the last card. It's card number 33. Yes, it's a very small deck. It has only 33 cards. And it has a very tremendous spiritual meaning. So it stands for the third eye, the process, you know, the sun being this pure white light. I know we are drawing the sun in a yellow shade, but we are just seeing it as this pure, colorless light source, then breaking through into these different colors that also represent the colors of our main chakras. Of course, we have a lot more chakras, but those are those typical main chakras that most people know. So this is my third eye card representing spiritual gifts, representing actually, you know, many things, clairvoyance, everything that is connected to the third eye, like this kind of knowledge that not everyone has, this spiritual capabilities. And also, of course, it can stand for different dimensions. And when I saw these 2 cards next to each other, traveling, and this very spiritual third eye card also standing for dimensions, there was just this feeling of, you know, seeing through something that is beyond our mind and beyond our body, or having the desire to do so. It could even be that you're being confronted with death, but I don't feel suffering or sadness or loss in your reading, so don't worry. It's not, you know, I don't want to say that someone's going to die soon. Just saying that this is a topic that you are going through, that you are reflecting a lot about. Maybe you once had some kind of death experience and now you are thinking about that a lot. We have the goblin here. The goblin in my deck is is replacing some kind of what the devil is in other decks. So there is this nasty feeling, of course. The goblin in a few cases can come up in a positive way, but not in this reading. It gives me a negative vibe, and I feel like you might think about or realize something about these dark spiritual forces. It also makes me feel like this devil is not only is not only representing something dark in the spiritual realm. This could also at the same time be literally a person around you that you're trying to get away from, travel away from. But as I said, I'm not getting this super negative vibe from your reading. Like super heavy worries or fear or drama. It's just, I feel like it will work out. You will be able to leave, to you know, withdraw from this goblin energy, from this goblin person. Even if we disconnect physically from someone, and we cut contact, often energetically for quite a while, we can still be very tied to them, even if we are not aware of that. And this is just something that you are realizing. Like, this feels very spiritual with the water and the rainbow, or the river and the rainbow card. Like, both the river and the rainbow look to me in this reading like some kind of bridges between two different worlds or different elements, different dimensions. Especially here with the death card at the bottom of the deck. Like, this is a really freeing and huge spiritual realization that you might have. In the second row, we have the lute, the scales, and the maiden. There is something about, the lute obviously can represent music, but it can also represent other things. But I want to stick to the music topic here. I feel like the scales card is showing us that music could bring at the moment some kind of healing to you. Listening to music, playing your own music, learning an instrument might bring some inner balance, calm you down in some way. Also take you to different dimensions, might even increase your spiritual awareness a little bit. Open some kind of portal for you. It could also, I don't know why I'm getting this. This came just so quickly, I didn't expect it. For very few, maybe just for one or two people, like maybe there's something about a funeral and you're playing music on a funeral. The lute is below the goblin card, which gives me a little bit of a negative vibe. It could be that some of you, maybe you were trying to work within some kind of music field and there was a lot of negativity attached to it, toxicity. Or you tried to work in this field and it didn't work out, and that is due to this goblin person that, somehow in some way took some kind of talent from you, or you tried to discourage you in some way. There's something about that here as well. The scaled cards below the river card makes me feel like whenever you travel and wherever you travel, the waters will be stable and calm. Like, it will be a smooth journey. It feels so still and harmonious despite this stupid goblin here. Like, it can't affect you. That's how it feels. It feels very structured and clean. Like, there's no disturbance, like there's no movement. Sometimes we want movement, we want progress, but other times we don't. Sometimes we just want to stay in a moment because it's so peaceful and we wish it will never end. This is the energy I'm getting here. Then with the maiden, this card also gives me a little bit of a negative vibe, but don't worry, not a horribly negative vibe. I feel like this has something to do with your insecurities, and like those two are some kind of in a diagonal position. I feel like this goblin person has made you feel like a maiden for quite a while, like being underappreciated, being suppressed, being, not recognized, not acknowledged, not being paid well enough. This card, the maiden card, in a positive way, it can stand for youth, for apprenticeship. Is it the proper English word? you know, having to learn something, which is not a negative thing. It's normal when you're young or when you just start something new. So it doesn't have to be negative, but I'm getting this nasty feeling from this card today, like this goblin had something to do with you always feeling a little bit small. The lute card doesn't, if it could be music, but we can just take it as any kind of talent. Maybe you have a specific talent, but you are in some way ashamed of it, or you don't want to use it because maybe this goblin told you it's useless or you're not good enough. There's something about that as well. But you know, this is about healing here in this reading. So maybe during this time, you will deal a lot with it and release and heal from this situation. And in the best case, even be able to travel away, to move away from this goblin person, inwardly and externally. That's nice. So I'm gonna put these away and pull some lifestyle and health cards for you. Don't take these readings here in general too literally, but especially this part where it comes here to your physical health. Of course, you cannot take this literally or utterly rely onto this. So we have art. Nice. We had the lute already, so that makes sense. So this might be something that you'll want to focus on, that will be helpful, healing. Maybe become very abundant for you. Then we have zinc. Maybe that's something you need during this time. We have smoking. For those of you who are smokers, maybe this is a good time to stop smoking. Could even be that this goblin person always wanted you to smoke, like because they themselves smoke. And anytime you went somewhere with them, like, you know, they tried to persuade you to also smoke a cigarette. Some people are like that, so maybe it's time to quit that. Then we have lungs right after the smoking card. That's obvious. But of course, lungs is even for the non-smokers, could just be a warning to, you know, be careful. If you feel uncomfortable, especially during driving with the public transportation, then maybe you can still wear your mask or just wear proper clothing if it's still cold outside. Music is falling out, or obviously with the lute. That makes total sense. I don't have to repeat myself here. So I'm going to just jump right into the next one. Flowers in this deck stands for, of course, literally flowers. Flowers can also be a gift, but it can just stand for aesthetics in general. And aesthetics doesn't always have to be music and art. It can also just be, you know, coloring your walls or tidying something up, like just making something look beautiful. Or especially flowers, of course, can be related to what I don't want to say, fragrance, perfume. So maybe that's something that you want to focus on that could be helpful for you. And of course, flowers can stand for gardening. I want to pull some more of these cards for you. Tidy and clean. I said it already when I explained the flowers card, so maybe it's time for spring cleaning. And the magnesium card flipped out, so this could be something that you might need as well, maybe during this time. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.